Hey, yo, what's going on right now? You watching Casino is the Name. I'm here with Conti Moore from the Conti Moore Law Firm.
How you
She's
doing?
the legendary Conti Moore, okay?
Thank
so
you.
we're down here in Orlando, Florida right now, and I have so many questions for you about your law firm, about being a lawyer. So can you please give us some background as to how you came into the profession of law?
Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. So how did I get into the profession? Ever since I was a little girl, I liked to argue. And so my grandfather used to always say, you need to be a lawyer. You like to argue. You always challenge everything. And so when I was in high school, I was on the mock trial team and we won the state championship. And then I went to the Florida A&M University. FAMU. And I joined the mock trial team there under Professor Ravenel, who recently passed away. Rest in peace. And so he really trained us in college that if you go and compete against these Ivy League schools, you can't come in and just be even. You have to be better. Because if you're even, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And so that stuck with me. I went on to Florida State University College of Law, and I competed on the mock trial team there.
Nice.
And then I went on to work at a large firm in Las Vegas doing construction defect, commercial litigation work.
Wow.
But it just wasn't representing corporations. It's not the same thing as helping people.
Wasn't fulfilling.
Right. It's not helping people.
Yeah.
And so although I did like high asset, high net worth divorces in Vegas, it's different when you're helping someone get to see their child, when you're helping someone who can't see their child get a time sharing schedule, or someone to get out of a domestic violence situation. Like it's different when you're helping real people. So I relocated from Las Vegas to Orlando and started a firm where I could focus on helping people and focus on getting results for everyday hardworking people.
Gotcha. Wow. Okay, so you moved here. Did you immediately start your firm, or did you move here and then work with another firm or work for another company before starting your firm? Okay, so what did you do?
So when I actually moved back from Las Vegas to Orlando, I had a firm with 3 other partners. We all went to law school together.
Okay.
So we kind of like brainstormed and had our own little niche. Like I did family law, one person did criminal, one person did immigration, or 2 people did criminal. So I was there for 2 years and then broke off and started to do my own thing.
Okay.
And so that's where Conti Moore Law came from.
Gotcha. Okay. So what is the process of becoming a lawyer?
Okay, well, let me shout out my grandfather,
Okay.
Dr. Meyer L. Titus.
Shout out to you.
He was very big on making sure that my plan B was as good as my plan A. And so in college, I majored in computer science. CIS. I'm a CIS major. And so I'm a CIS major from FAM. And so, but I did that because that in the event I didn't want to go to law school.
Right, you had that's what I tell people on this channel. You do not have to go pre-law or criminal justice
or
Find
English or any of that.
Oh my goodness.
And so my CIS background really helped me with law because like when you get to law school, there's people who are English majors who want to write fluffy, all this, like get to the point. So for me, with the CIS background, I didn't have any fluff. I would get right to the point, address the issue, and it was short and sweet. And so I aced legal writing because I just got right to the point. And when you look at a statute and you look at it like, okay, if this, then that, or if it says and, or if it says or, it helps you realize, okay, it helps you figure out like what the statute really means, what's required to prevail in your case. But anyway, so back to what you need. You don't need to have a pre-law. You don't need to focus on English or whatever else. Get a degree that if for some reason you don't go to law school, you can succeed and make some money.
I can't wait to clip this because that's what I say repeatedly on this channel. Like, get a degree you can use. You don't have to go, because as an accountant, people go associate's degree in accounting. You can't use that to be an accountant. You're not an accountant without at least a bachelor's degree. So then they get a bachelor's degree in accounting, and then they get a master's degree in accounting, and then they get a doctorate in accounting. None of those things make you more of an accountant than a bachelor's degree in accounting. Go do something else. Get an associate's degree in nursing, bachelor's degree in accounting, master's degree in IT something, and doctorate in something else. Like, you don't have to go one way. But okay, so you got your undergrad in CIS.
And then I went to law school. So as long as you have a bachelor's degree, you can go to law school with any degree. Like
bachelor's degree. And then to law school.
And then go to law
with
school.
any bachelor's degree.
Yeah. There's no requirements for you to have a certain degree to go to law school. You
This
either
is
get
crazy.
a bachelor's degree, and then you may proceed and go.
This is crazy. She's literally saying everything that I be saying, but I'm so glad that you're cooperating. Because, sometimes I know I be saying what I be saying, but sometimes I be like, I don't really know if this is backed up by anybody or if I'm just thinking this on my own.
No.
But thank you for that. Okay.
Yeah, so you don't, it's a matter, and you want to get something that can help you. So like with CIS, it's a lot of logic. If you're writing programs, either it works or it doesn't work, right? So it really helps you with, law school
Yeah,
because
getting
it's
rid
like,
of that fluff, honing
right.
in on the craft, like,
Yeah.
being
Is that
decisive.
an and or is that an or?
Right,
And like really
right.
understanding, what's required in the statute.
That's how I feel about accounting, because accounting is accountability. So we deal with policies and procedures and all that kind of stuff as an auditor. I was an auditor for Homeland Security. And so we had to deal with that from that standpoint. So I've been reading policies and procedures and contracts and all of that. I'm like, this can't be too different from being, if you're in contract law or something. Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you, as soon as you graduated with your CIS, did you go straight into law school?
I went straight to law school.
Okay.
I went straight to law school.
Okay.
I didn't want to take a break. I just wanted to kind of get it over
You knew that's
with.
what you wanted.
Yeah.
CIS was the backup. So CIS was the plan
That was
B.
my backup plan.
Oh,
and so,
okay.
and if I didn't go to law school, like all my friends who graduate from CIS are doing very well.
Okay.
Making really good money, and technology is not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
So that was my plan B. So my grandfather was like, "Don't go pre-law, like for what? If you don't decide to go to law school, what are you gonna do?"
What'd you say his name is again?
Dr. Meyer L. Titus.
Dr. Meyer L.
Titus.
Titus. That I gotta go see. I gotta go check.
You gotta go look him up. You gotta go look him up. Gotta look him up.
That's a smart man.
Yeah, but he was just really big on on that. So I did something different. It was very challenging. I could have did the easy way and did political science, did something, but I was let's do this. And I thought that I wanted to do IP law, which is intellectual property law, but that was really boring. Like it was, I need a little bit of Jerry Springer. I need a little something. I need a little bit of balance in my life.
Yeah.
And so the IP wasn't for me.
Gotcha.
Now to be an IP lawyer, they require that you have some sort of technical background in order to specialize in that area. But I was fine. I decided to pass on that and do something else. But once you graduate from law school, then you have to take the bar exam. So each state has their own bar exam that you have to take to be admitted to practice in that state. I'm currently licensed in Nevada and in Florida.
Oh, she's double barred. I
Yeah.
call it double barred.
I'm double barred.
Okay, so did you also have to take the LSAT?
I took the LSAT to get into law school.
Okay, yeah, I
Yes.
just want to know because she was saying that they're changing programs now, or some schools are not requiring the LSAT anymore.
I'm so far removed from
Yeah,
that, but the
yeah.
LSAT is not fun. But it was, nor is any standardized
No, of
test.
course not.
But you take it and you get in and you move forward.
Okay, so do you remember when you received your acceptance letter or your acceptance?
They called me. So, okay, so weird story, not a funny story, but it's just crazy because I got accepted to Loyola in New Orleans. And so that was before Hurricane Katrina.
Oh.
And so I was going to go there. Like I went out there, put my seat deposit down. I was going to New Orleans, and I love New Orleans. It's my favorite city.
Yeah, okay.
But I remember I went out there and I was just like watching the news, and I'm like, man, it was a Monday. They had like 3 murders. And I was like, on a Monday?
Yeah.
What? Well, how y'all act
It
on
goes
Friday?
down in New Orleans,
How do
yeah.
y'all act on Friday or Saturday? Like it was
Yeah.
a Monday, like 3. I was
Crazy.
like, man, so I was kind of like uneasy.
What about Wednesday?
Right.
Hump
I'm like,
day.
man, like it's Monday. So one of my best friends was there with me. She's like, man, this news crazy. And I'm like, okay. So then I came back from New Orleans, and then Florida State called me, and the lady said, well, I just want you to know you got accepted. And I was like, whoa, I'm gonna stay in Tallahassee. I'm gonna stay there. We might have 3 murders in a year at that point, at least.
Wow.
So then I stayed in Tallahassee. So I
Yeah.
went to FAMU for undergrad, and then I ended up staying in Tallahassee to go to Florida State for law school.
Yeah. Shout out Tallahassee. I grew up in Tallahassee as well, so
Go Noles, go
Tallahassee
Rattlers.
has educated us both at some point.
Yeah, go Noles, go
Yeah, but I'm
Rattlers.
just high school though, middle school, high school. But okay, all right. So you're a Rattler and a Knoll.
I am.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's a crazy combination. You're super Tallahassee.
Yeah, I'm super. And I used to work at Top Flight.
Oh, and she worked at Top Flight. This is hilarious. Like, look,
Bartender.
all this. She went through that. Tallahassee and Top Flight.
Top Flight. Taught me well.
Yes, that's why she's the legend. All right? She's a legend in Tallahassee. All right, so you went to law school. You get out of law school. Did you get your first job? How did you get your first job?
I applied to every law firm I could that was in a city that I had family, because I was like, all right, I don't want to just, everybody wants to stay in, the East
Right.
Coast, like, or Atlanta, or,
Atlanta, baby.
right.
Okay.
So I was like, well, I want to, kind of not just stay here and compete with everybody here, but go somewhere else. So I applied to everywhere in Colorado, in Las Vegas, wherever I have family. I literally was like, all right, I could go stay with y'all and live with you for a little bit to get on my feet. I'm going to apply there. So I had family in Las Vegas. And so I applied to a law firm out there, and there weren't a lot of people that looked like me at all out there. And so I applied, and then they flew me out for an internship. Or they flew me out for an interview, and then I interned with them for a summer, and then they offered me a position. So I went and was making six figures or close to right out of law school, and I wasn't even the top part of my class. So this is something that people need to understand. When you want to stay here and compete with everybody that's here, right? Like, it's gonna be more competition.
Right.
But if you like go out west or go where places where because you can always make a lateral move, right? But you need to get your foot in the door. You need to get experience.
Right.
So for me, I wasn't like picky on I gotta stay in Miami or I need to stay in New York. I'll go wherever y'all paying me the money I want to make.
Yeah.
And I got offered a job making the same amount of money that people who were like top 10% of my class, which I was not the top 10%. Okay. I was not. But I had enough sense to know that I needed to go elsewhere and just broaden my horizons and just, and not be so stuck on, well, I want to be here. No, I want to go out and make some money and get some experience.
Yeah, right. So, and that's another thing too. Like, a lot of people that I noticed through like these comments or even meeting people, they say things like, but it's hard wouldn't it be hard being like black and being a lawyer? And I'm like, well, or being in a city where you're black and you're trying to be a lawyer. I'm like, well, you realize that you may have an advantage being a black lawyer in a place where it isn't a lot of black lawyers. You may be the go-to black lawyer, for this firm or whatever. So work your move. If you're a female, you may be the go-to female because they need a female or they desire having a female to handle certain types of sensitive situations or whatever. So that might be your best bet. But if you're in a place where everybody black or you want to stay around your area or whatever, you may not have that advantage, being in that space.
And people have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think that sometimes, we're so short-sighted and we're just like, oh, I don't want to go that far. I said, like, go. Like, what, you can always come back. Right, you can always come back home. You can always move back to the East Coast or wherever you want to go. But go out there and explore and try. And so for me, Vegas was great.
Oh yeah,
I learned a lot about myself. I was able to learn and work with different people. It wasn't really that diverse, but it was good for me to go out and have that experience. So don't be uncomfortable. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, and for a side note, Vegas is my second favorite city.
To live in or to visit. There's a difference.
I live in Atlanta, right?
Okay.
And so there's not a lot of places. I'm from Florida though,
Okay.
But there's not a lot of places that I would want to move to live. And Vegas, like to leave Atlanta. So it's like if I ever left Atlanta, I can only leave it for Vegas. That's where I'm at.
I lived in Vegas and it's different. For me, because it was really hard to date in Vegas. There's not a lot of professionals in Vegas. It's a very transient city. Like it's not a lot of
gambling city.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like let me go.
Party town.
Yeah, so I remember when I went to Vegas, it was just like I don't know. I didn't get the love that I got when I came back to Florida. I remember I came back to Florida.
Okay.
The first week I was here, I went to Walmart. I was looking rough, and I went to Walmart like, hey, I'm like, oh, I'm back in the South. I'm back in Florida. Like, that wouldn't happen in Vegas. So, but it was a cool city. It's kind of like Orlando, right? You think it's all Disney World, but there's so much more than just Disney World. Yeah. So there's so much more
layers.
Yeah, there's so much more to Vegas besides the strip. But it was a cool experience for me. Like I grew a lot professionally, and the lawyers out there, like because there weren't a lot of us, they really kind of gathered around you and supported you. You had the support of the NBA chapter out there. Shout out to the Las Vegas chapter of the NBA. But it was just a really good place for me to grow and to not be so comfortable.
Okay.
And then I came back to Florida, right? So I went out there for like 3.5 years and I tried to learn everything I could at my firm that I was working at because I didn't want to reinvent the wheel. So I was like, all right, let me go figure out how they're doing it and then I could take what they're doing and then tweak it and use it for my firm. Right. So that's what I did.
Okay. So coming back from Vegas, moving into Florida, the people that you started your partnership with, were y'all always in talks, or were they also in Vegas? Or
No, we all talked. So it was a beautiful thing. So we were in law school and we planned this, and so everybody
wow.
went out and got like an expertise or got experience in different areas.
Wow.
So we had like a full service firm, and so like everybody had like immigration, they had criminal,
Yeah.
and then family law and civil.
Yeah.
And so we came back and we started our firm, and it was a good way for us to all kind of branch out and start our own thing.
That's crazy. People don't realize how motivated you are to accomplish something or to complete something. Than you are with other people, like motivating you. Like even if it was just one other person, it was like, hey, we're gonna do this together, and y'all have been planning this since college, and so you're kind of holding each other accountable for success. And so having your own firm, was that always a part of your plan, or?
Yeah, I don't want to work for anybody else. So it was like, and I won't say I won't work for anybody else, but when you work at a large firm and you see how things go, you can kind of say, when I get my own firm, I want to have it like this. I want to be able to, value family, and I want to be able to have people have work-life balance, or you want to kind of like create your own thing,
right? Instead of robots,
right? And so like I was like, let's create our own thing here. And so at our firm, we're really blessed because we have a great culture. Like culture is very important to us at our firm, and so we have a great team. Everybody in the culture, it's a vibe, and you don't really see that a lot at a lot of law firms.
Okay, so I'm not going to get into your specifics, but the purpose of this channel is to introduce careers and ideas about a transition, or just information, a background about something that people don't know. And the main thing that people on this channel want to know is, can I make six figures doing that job or in that career, right?
Yes.
And so I wanted to kind of just give some background information, not about your money, but what could someone expect to make as a partner at a firm? Not a senior partner, but a partner.
Six figures, definitely.
What do you consider six figures? Like what's...
I mean,
talking 100,000?
No, that shouldn't be for a partner. I mean, I would think up to like 150, 175.
Okay.
So depending on where you practice.
Yeah,
and
where you are.
Big law, are you at a big law, are you at a small firm?
Regional,
it all depends.
Small firm. Yeah. So 150,000
for like a partner.
For a partner. And how many years would you say it takes to get to that point?
Yeah. This is like maybe 7 years, 10 years.
7 to 10
years.
Yeah,
like 7 to 10 years.
7 to 10 years, you can be making around 150,000 a year. Okay. Now, for a senior partner at a small to mid-sized firm, we don't want to really talk about the large firms because that's a nightmare.
So it depends on like if they're just managing people or if they're also have a caseload themselves and like how the bonus structure is set up. But you could probably make onwards or up to $200,000 or so.
$200,000.
Depending on it also depends on where you practice, because Atlanta, y'all, the salaries in Atlanta are different than where they are at other places. So it also depends on where you live,
That's
right?
True.
The cost of living.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, and if you work for yourself, you can scale. So I'm actually creating, it's called Law Firm Mechanics. And we have created a family law mastermind for practitioners in family law to come together and to kind of like pick each other's brains and to help them. And they're all over the U.S. And we're meeting in Cancun next month.
Okay.
And so,
I was going to say, I want to come to that mastermind so I can record it.
Yeah.
But I can't make Cancun next month.
All right. Well, we'll let you know about the next one.
You got to give me some time to get my money together.
I got you. I'll let you know about the next one. But this is the thing, though. I think that was really important when you're starting a business, especially a law firm, is that business coaching is a thing. And a lot of people like us don't understand or haven't been exposed to business coaching. But essentially, it's a skip the line pass, right? To where you can kind of avoid like making like certain pitfalls, whatever else. So when I started getting business coaching, my business scaled and went crazy.
Great. Yeah.
Once you start getting business coaching. And so any young entrepreneurs or young lawyers who want to start their own firm, invest in the coaching.
Okay.
Skip the line.
Okay.
Don't just keep
invest in the coaching.
Yeah, don't just keep doing the same thing that and when you can
Right.
figure out the formula and get to it quicker.
So for those who were just like, hey, I'm gonna be I'm planning on going to law school. I'm not gonna be starting my firm straight out. What kind of, I guess, situations should I look like forward to as far as from what a firm could offer to like a mid-sized firm or something?
I mean, it depends. If you're working for the government, so if you work for the government, they're paying I think like around $60 to get started. That's not. But the experience you get there, right? It's not about it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Right.
Right. So if you start there and you get child experience, then once you get about 3 or 4 years of good experience, then some of the larger firms may want you because they want you to help try civil cases because you have the experience in front of jury. So it's a process. Okay?
Yeah, and also starting with the government, because it's the same thing with accountants, right? Like accounting for the government is like the worst paying sector up front, but they still have those. Say if you was a GS7 coming in, you're 7, and then the next year you're 9, the next year you're 11, and that can go all the way up to 13. But the difference between salaries between a GS7 and a 13 is like $50,000 or something. So, just you got to come in, get started, get some experience.
You need experience.
Get some experience.
Can we talk about this? Can we talk about this? Though?
Yeah.
What really boils my grits is when people want to make all this money, but they have no experience.
They want to come home. They want to come out making what you make, and you like 15. No, I started lower than where you're going to come in. Like, because where you started might have been lower than what the entry level is for, the same thing,
Right. So that's the thing. Like experience is key. Like your grades can be great, but I want someone who's tried cases. I want someone with experience. So, it's a process. Map out your 5-year plan, go in and execute, and just understanding you may not come out making exactly what you want right then. It's going to take some work to get there. And then you also have to look at, like work-life balance. Like what is it? I mean, you could make $200,000 if you work in 20 hours a day. Is it worth it? It's not worth it. You're really not making more than an hourly than a teacher's making or what, so it's not that much. You need to also look at, you can make $200,000, but if you don't have time to enjoy it, what's the point of that?
Yeah. Okay. So your business coaching, who, when, where, who did that?
So who did I hire for my coach? I hired Letitia DeSuze. She's actually in Atlanta.
Okay.
She's amazing, and you don't know what you don't know.
Right. You got to set that up. I want to interview her as well.
Yeah, you have to interview Letitia.
I got to talk to her. She's
in Atlanta. She's in Atlanta.
Yeah, perfect.
Letitia's a beast.
Okay.
And so she just really kind of helped me understand my numbers, helped me really understand my ROI, helped me understand how to compensate people. Like law school doesn't teach you that. And so, but it was an investment.
Yeah.
Right. So people want game, but they don't want to pay for it.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, it's a cost. It's a cost to it. And but I've got my ROI back 100 times.
Okay. So now, are you teaching?
Yes, we're teaching.
So you want some business coaching for starting your law firm? Go to her.
For family law.
And also her mastermind.
So law firm, you can find us for the coaching is Law Firm Mechanics on IG, Facebook, Law Firm Mechanics.
Law Firm Mechanics. This is dope.
Yeah,
this is dope. My sister's a lawyer too, so I'm gonna say, hey, you got any lawyer friends? Need to go to Law Firm Mechanics.
Come check us out.
Come check it.
Skip the line. Get to the money faster.
Go to Cancun. Come
hang out with us. Hope we on a yacht too.
Information is so valuable. It cuts time down so much. You know how many things that I watched on YouTube that save me time, energy, and money? Because, man, just having information, but, a coach to walk you through and to explain things from top to bottom.
But you have to be willing to listen.
Yes.
And so some people don't want to listen, don't want to hear people. So you have to be receptive. You have to be open to, because feedback is a gift. That's another quote. Feedback is a gift. Okay. So you have to be
feedback is a gift.
You have to be in a place to receive feedback to be able to grow.
Wow. So. And on top of that, that's part of the reason why they need to pay, because people are not going to pay attention until they have some kind of financial investment into it. Right? Because if it's free information, they're not really paying attention.
But I will tell you that anyone that has worked with me can tell you when I started coaching, because things started to take off.
Wow.
Because I learned how to be a lawyer. Like I learned how to, they taught me the law. They didn't teach you how to the business side of it.
Right.
And so you have to invest in learning the business side of it.
That's the same thing with like doctors. Like there's like, you go to medical school and you think that a doctor is really, really smart, because they are, the top 1%, just like lawyers. And so they're really, really smart people, but that has nothing to do with business. You got some dumb people who good at business, and and you got some smart people who are very bad at business, because it's a different thing. They're like, I just want to deal with patients. I don't want to deal with this insurance stuff. I got a passion for this. I got a passion to see, help my clients see their children or whatever. But the business side is key and vital.
Different
Insurances, liabilities, all that kind of stuff. Payroll,
Yeah.
like payroll. You got to make payroll. If you got a W-2 employee,
you gotta make
make
payroll.
payroll. It's a crazy world.
You
out
need to have a
here.
backup plan in case you can't either.
Yeah,
You have a lot of
exactly.
credit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay. You want to tell them anything about where they can find you?
You can find us, the firm, at Conti More Law. That's on Instagram, IG, LinkedIn. You can find us anywhere. Conti More Law, CONTIMOORELAW. Law firm mechanics, if you're interested in some law firm coaching, or just to come out and like pick. It's another thing too. People don't want to always like overcommit. I want to commit to coaching. We'll just come to a retreat and then kind of have us help you out. No other commitment.
So you have a retreat.
We have a retreat. It's a mastermind retreat where we
Okay,
bring
so
in.
the Cancun thing is a retreat.
It's a mastermind retreat where we have people come in and we figure out what they need help with and we help them out.
Nice. So this retreat, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around all of this, right? You're in Cancun, and it's all lawyers. Mm-hmm. That's dope. Yeah. Y'all understand how crazy this is? I didn't even know lawyers was doing stuff like this.
A lot of them aren't. That's the thing. Like you get so busy and trying to handle the day to day that you're not thinking about growing. But
Yo, that's crazy. You know what? People say accounting, like being an accountant, is boring. It's not, by the way. But we're not doing that. I don't know of accountants doing that. This is great.
You need to start one. You need to start a mastermind retreat for accountants.
You know what? I might have to get with you and figure out how to do all of this. Maybe we can do something together.
Yep.
Anyway, so make sure you go check out all of her information. Conti More Law.
Conti More Law and Law Firm Mechanics.
And Law Firm Mechanics. You gotta go to that if you're a lawyer. If you're even in law school and you're planning on doing this, you gotta go do this. A lot of y'all are already rich because y'all come from rich families. Invest in this information. Yeah. Invest in yourself. Anyway, right now you're watching Casino is the Name. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we out. There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino is the Name.